Gentleman yields, and I'll recognize the ranking member, Mr. Neguse, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Deputy Chief Crockett, for your testimony. I promise I'll get to the substance of why we're here in the bill eventually here, but I wanted to ask you, since you're here, just a few questions about an issue that's deeply important to folks I represent back in Colorado. There are, as you probably are aware, 3 congressionally designated Southwest Ecological Restoration Institutes that work to understand and reduce the threat of wildfire and receive funding from the Forest Service. One of those institutes, the Colorado Forest Restoration Institute, is located in my district, based at Colorado State University in Fort Collins. These institutes have been supported on a bipartisan basis by Congress. We designated funding upwards of $6.6 million for fiscal year 24 and fiscal year 25. We've recently learned that the Forest Service has told the institutes that their funding will be cut in half for fiscal year 2025, reducing funding to $3 million for all 3 institutes. That would represent a 55% reduction in federal funding and put critical science-based work that takes place at each of these centers into jeopardy. Deputy Chief, are you aware of this? Question number 1. And the second question is, I suppose if you are aware, is the Forest Service intending to reallocate funds designated for these institutes?
Thank you for the question. So to answer the first question, yes, I'm aware of the budget adjustments that we made. And I actually have a working session set up with the leaders of the institutes tomorrow to work through the details of looking at the existing funding that's on the books that they've had for several years, as well as the opportunities with the $3 million that was allocated this year, knowing that there's another institute in Utah that is set to come online next year. Plan to have a budget working session with them tomorrow on that topic.
Well, I would just suggest to you, Deputy Chief, thank you for your candor. Congress appropriated the funds, right?
Yes.
Right, so the United States Congress appropriated to your department, your parent agency, this particular sum of money to be expended by these institutes. And I don't understand the Forest Service's position that it can and is proceeding to reallocate, I think the word you used was adjustment, make adjustments notwithstanding congressional intent, which was very clear in the appropriations that we've adopted. And you can imagine the slippery slope that will create here in Congress, because essentially, I don't know how much clearer we could be, and the appropriators could be, and I suppose that it will compel Republican and Democratic members of Congress to work together to provide your agency and other agencies like it with no discretion whatsoever, given the lack of clarity as to the agency's willingness to implement the appropriations as they have been designated by Congress. So I would just encourage you, we will certainly follow up with the agency and with the chief, but would hope that you could relay the same back to the relevant decision makers within the agency. Of course, you are one of them, because I would hope that the agency's final decision would be to abide by the congressional intent in the fiscal year 2025 appropriation. With respect to the bill that we're discussing today, and I think there are a number of different components that my colleague from Colorado has included in his discussion draft that make sense and I think are prudent. There are other areas where I have some questions and look forward to collaborating and engaging on some of those questions, some of which were noted by the ranking member of the full committee. The only, I guess, observation I would make, and you're welcome to respond, Deputy Chief, is that while I think enacting new authorities, reforming existing authorities is certainly worth doing, I worry that we're missing the forest for the trees, pardon the pun, because this is all happening in the context of a skinny budget that the Trump administration has submitted that decimates the Forest Service. decimates the BIA. It's unclear to me, how the BIA would begin to even achieve some of what we would be asking them to do under the budgets, the skinny budget submitted by the president. But in any event, if you wish to respond, you're welcome to.
So I don't know if I have a full answer for you, but just say that, the administration supports the president's budget, and we're looking forward to working through successful solutions.
I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.